Okay, I want to talk for a sec about pretty privilege. As someone who's made it my livelihood through modeling, I want to talk about beyond that. So there are literally apps that you have to apply and get approved, and how you get approved if you're pretty enough. Once you get approved, it shows you all of the things that you can get for free at restaurants, at like hotels, at like clubs, fitness centers, and you just have to post that you were there. And it's in like so many cities, and so many places do this. It's just crazy how much a thing it is.
Yeah, pretty privilege is great, but let's talk about the disadvantages of being pretty because they are so real. So when you're not conventionally attractive, and I say that very lightly, people accept what you have to say. You're not threatening, you're not triggering anyone's insecurities, and you're just heard. When you are pretty, especially when you're really beautiful, people start looking for reasons to bring you down. They assume you're dumb, they assume you're vain, they assume you're a pick-me, they assume you're easy, they assume you're a hoe. They start to assume all these things about you to kind of justify why you're so pretty. You have to go that extra mile to prove yourself. You have to prove you're not shallow. You have to prove you're not getting on just by your looks. You just don't get to just be. And the hotter you are, believe me, the worse it can get, because people will hate you without even knowing you. Women will get defensive and men will make assumptions, and suddenly you're not seen as a person. You are a projection of everyone else's insecurities. So yeah, pretty privilege does exist, but so does pretty pressure.
The saddest thing about social media is that if you are considered conventionally attractive, you can get away with whatever you want. There are some creators on here who have done genuinely horrible things, yet they still have a huge platform. Why? Because they have a pretty face. And if you have a pretty face here on social media, everyone just applauds you because you're so great, you're so amazing, you're so perfect. And for creators who aren't necessarily considered conventionally attractive, people are on their asses so much more than these creators who are maybe considered more beautiful. It's kind of disgusting how much social media values appearances alone. It's almost like if you're beautiful, you just have a get out of jail free card for literally any situation. Like, can we please collectively just agree not to give horrible people platforms no matter how pretty they are? Is that too much to ask?
I have a question and I desperately need it answering, and that question is, can someone be too pretty for a job? Isn't this just a form of discrimination? Because I feel like I need to get my point across. I've always wanted to be a psychologist, and I was actually an assistant psychologist before I got those Bluetooth books and the Wi-Fi money. Someone quite literally said to me, you know, you are going to struggle getting a job as a psychologist, as a therapist, because people are going to struggle to open up to you. They're going to find it difficult to express how they truly feel about like negative feelings and, you know, insecurities that they have because they find you so attractive. Now, I don't physically think this is a thing that should be a thing. So you're telling me all of my hard work and dedication that I put into getting a first class degree, you know, I have an A-level in psychology, I literally worked as an assistant psychologist, will all go down the bin because I'm too pretty? Okay. Let me know if this is actually a thing, because I just don't think it's true. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Thank God I got that Wi-Fi money. Thank God. Thank God.
If you're a pretty girl, you might struggle with this. This isn't a therapist point of view. I have to explain this to my clients because they don't get it. But I'll have a gorgeous client come in, like a 10, and she'll be like, why is this? I'm like, sweetie, it's because of how you look. And so I have to break it down for them. Then I also have to like teach them how to be more cautious and then how to handle themselves because of what they look like. There's a whole shift in it. So if you're constantly complimented on your looks, there are higher risks for you, okay? In work, in school, in religion, and whatever you do, people are anxiously waiting to see you fail, okay? They want to see you fail and then spread it like wildfire. It really helps to their ego. They really want to know that you're not perfect. You might have had trouble having really good friends, or you feel isolated, lonely, because it's really hard to find women who are not in competition. Even your looks, and you could be the best person on the inside, but your looks could just trigger someone of their insecurity. You're a constant reminder for them. Also, a lot of women, if they see you as a threat, they're going to try to drag you to be extremely close to them because they want to be you. And some weird shiz happens. It's really weird. So psychologists say this, and it's so true. You are very polarizing. There's no neutral. So for women, some women might see you and be like inspired and look up to you and want to be your friend. And then other women might look at you and hate your guts, look for gossip, look for all the wrong things. And then for men, they might see you and be excited to talk to you, want to take you out. And then the other side of men is they're insecure and they think that you're just going to reject them, so they're just going to hate you first. I find that women who are known for their looks have to do double the work to prove that they're smart, to prove that they're a good worker. I find it's just really interesting. Also, people might think that you earn things because of the way you look, and that is so degrading and annoying. Of like, nope, I worked my butt off for this. But it could be true that you did get someone because of your looks, and that's called pretty privilege. But again, you just have to work a lot harder. Also, a side note, I find a lot of women who are extremely beautiful have very beautiful friends who are extremely successful. And that's the only way they can have really good friends, is if they're at the same level, if not more. There is just no escaping that people are going to talk about you, and you need to like accept that and let that sink in. And in doing that, you will become the most successful version of yourself. Once you kind of embrace all the good and negative sides to you, you just kind of learn to be yourself, and you can succeed a lot more when you embrace being beautiful, embrace being pretty, and not see it as a bad thing. And of course, it's not a bad thing to be pretty, but there are just pros and cons to everything. Let me know what you guys think and what you have experienced. But sorry, this is kind of a negative video, but these are just some things that I feel like I had to explain to my clients.
I just saw a video that said pretty privilege is so real, because you can be as weird as you want, but if you're hot, you're still going to get invited places, and you're not going to be a weird girl. You're still going to be hot. If anything, it's even better to be a weird hot girl, because then guys are like, oh, she's different. Like, she's not like most girls. Like, she's weird and funny. Like, I know multiple girls personally that I've said, if people didn't think I was pretty, I would just be a weird girl. Like, they wouldn't want anything to do. It's so weird, though. You can be as weird as you want. It's completely overlooked. You're just hot. Like, how did that happen?
No, because it's literally the truth that the prettier you are, the better you'll get treated. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you disagree with me. It's the truth. Pretty people get anything they want. If they get anything they want, they can convince people to do whatever they want. They get a lot, okay? If you're not pretty, you're not gonna get as many privileges. Pretty privilege is a real thing. Okay, yeah. So when I'm telling you that everyone looks better with makeup, I'm not lying. I don't even know how I'm a pick-me for that. That's the opposite of pick-me. I'm not saying everyone naturally beautiful, everyone wears so much. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you should wear makeup. If you are happy with yourself naturally, that's amazing. You should be, okay? But I'm just saying, wearing makeup will make you more presentable, okay? If you disagree with me, you're wrong. You're wrong, okay? I'm not saying no one's naturally not pretty either. There are a lot of naturally pretty people, but you want to be as pretty as you can, okay? You want to be top tier so that you can get whatever you want. Because trust me on this, the prettier you are, your life will work out amazing, okay?
I was just at a coffee shop with my best friend, who is the most gorgeous girl you'll ever see in the entire world, and she got a cookie for free while I had to pay for my chocolate croissant and my coffee. And then after, we walked to the store next door that sells kind of like cute drinks, home goods, things like that, and she got something else for free again. And this happens every time we go out. She's always getting compliments, getting things for free, and I'm just standing there like, what about me? She really is the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen, though. Like, it's insane. She's
Hi, pretty girl, you're so pretty.
Today I'm going to explain pretty privilege, because yes, I do experience pretty privilege, but there are tiers to pretty privilege, and I'm on the lower tier. So pretty privilege has 3 tiers. There's entry level, 8 tier, and model status. So entry level pretty privilege includes all the girls that are a little bit above average looking, but they're not like the prettiest girls you've ever seen, but you would definitely consider them pretty. Being on this level gets you some privileges. Like, you can get free drinks at a bar, people want to help you if you're in need, people are generally nice to you, they give you the benefit of the doubt, and this is the category that I would put myself in. And to put this on the 1 through 10 scale, this would be the high 6s and the 7s. You're pretty enough to be treated well because of it, but you're not pretty enough to make a lifestyle out of it. So one level above that is what I call 8 tier, and that's your 8s of the world. And these girls are generally the prettiest girls in the room. They're the prettiest girls you see in real life on an average day. And these are the girls that draw attention because of how pretty they are. When you're on this level, you get all the privileges of entry level, but multiplied. Instead of being able to access benefits, you're getting offered benefits. So people will give you free drinks without even talking to you. People will give you free food. People will just give you free things, honestly.
People flock around you. Either girls really want to be your friend or they're very jealous of you and they hate on you, and boys are very obsessed with you. You have the halo effect, which is where people think highly of you just because of the way that you look. It's not based on merit, but people will just think that you're nicer, you're funnier, you're smarter, all because of the way that you look. These girls are immediately likable because of how pretty they are, and they experience the world differently than everybody else does. And the final pretty privilege tier is model status. And that's going to be your 9s and 10s. These are going to be the people that you almost never see in real life. These are the people that you see on social media, that you see on your TV. These are models, these are celebrities, these are influencers. These people make a living off of how pretty they are. They have the halo effect times 1,000, and people want to do things for them just because of how pretty they are. They can get almost anything for free. They can get anywhere for free. They can get into the upper echelon of society just because of the way that they look. Now, why did I just explain all this? Because people like to comment on my videos saying, oh, the reason that happened to you, the reason that you got this thing, the reason that people were nice to you was pretty privilege. It has nothing to do with you and what you did. It's all about the way that you look. And while pretty privilege gets my foot in the door, I've learned how to maximize my pretty privilege by being socially adept and by surrounding myself with people that are prettier than me. Being an entry-level pretty privilege doesn't automatically mean that people are going to give me things or be nice to me because of the way that I look. But it does mean that because of the way that I look, I have the ability to manipulate them in specific ways to get a certain outcome and to get the things that I want from them. It's not a given, but being pretty is a tool that I can use to my advantage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you don't know me, I'm Vic and I'm a diagnosed psychopath, and I talk about being a psychopath on my page, so if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and follow along, and thanks for watching.
Another aspect of pretty privilege that no one wants to talk about is nails. And you might be thinking, like, who notices nails? Girl, let me tell you, a lot of people notice nails. And I didn't actually realize it until I started going to my nail tech. And I realized how many people actually treat me different when my nails are done versus when they're not done. I feel like I'm taken a little bit more seriously when my nails are actually done. And a lot of women will use it as a conversation starter, like, oh, I really like your nails, or I really like your design. And then there are people that you work with and you remembered that they like a certain color, and then you got that nail color and you related it back to them. Let me tell you, people feel so flattered. Like, people feel so freaking flattered if you go back and do something like a form of expression on yourself that they mentioned before. And I think nails are a great way to do that. So it is definitely a door opener, a conversation starter, and something that just a lot of people don't even think about and don't even think is important. But I promise you, it is important.
Because a lot of women have not found their purpose or their value outside of how they look, these are the same women that tend to inflate what the privileges of being pretty actually are. If you think for a second that you will be put on this perfect pedestal that no one can knock you off of just because you are pretty, you need to wake up. Let me give you some perspective that will help you really understand what I'm talking about. If you have ever been to a modeling casting, if any of you saw that period on TikTok where Pretty Little Thing held their open casting, do you notice how many women show up to these openings? There are millions of beautiful, pretty, attractive women. And just when you think you might be the prettiest person that someone has seen, there are thousands of more people who have better features, better facial harmony, better skin, a better body than you. I don't say this to knock your confidence. I don't say this to downplay how society treats pretty people, but that is not all you need to get by in life and to get by successfully. If you do not have a brain, meaning you don't know how to be tactful, you don't understand how business works, and if you pair that with not having a strong support system, you can be the most gorgeous woman on earth. You will still be walked like a dog. You will still be treated like scum of the earth. At the end of the day, for most people, especially in America, what people care about is money. They care about making their lives easier without having to do too much. If you can use your attractiveness to exploit that, to cheat that system, do it. But don't think you can get out of that system just because of how you look. Don't do that.
I went through about a 50-pound weight loss, and I noticed people 1,000% treat me better, but you want to know what people don't talk about, and people just want to hate on that, like, pretty privilege, like, that's so messed up. No, I treat myself better. It shows. Healthy people are attractive. Girls who take care of themselves are attractive. If you're putting good food in your body, it shows. If you are working out, it shows. If you are a man who looks like he takes care of himself, it's a value thing. I can tell that a guy values himself. My boyfriend is extremely attractive because he takes care of himself, and I like that. A woman is attractive when she takes care of herself. It's not about a number on a scale at all. It's an energy thing. Like, you value yourself, you value your health. That is hot. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting here and you're like, oh, I need to be like this number on the scale, and then, you know, people might start treating me better, but you genuinely still dislike yourself, that shows. Energy shows. If you carry yourself like you are hot, people are gonna see that and they're gonna feel it too. It's an energy thing, 1,010%. But also, taking care of yourself, like, it's important.
When you're an attractive person, there will be some people who will respond to you poorly. Like, when they first meet you, even before getting to know you, they just don't like you, and it's because of how you look. There is a psychological reasoning to this, and there's also a spiritual reasoning to this that I'm going to get into as well. For the psychological reason, it's because you're bruising their ego. Your looks, especially if you couple that with a good personality and good energy, your presence challenges and threatens people's self-esteem and their self-worth. The reason for that is, in the society that we're in today, most people don't find validation within themselves. Most people don't have self-love. The majority of people find validation through control and through hierarchy. And people who operate in hierarchy, they're always in comparison and they're competitive. For the people who operate and navigate their world this way, it's so easy to feel inferior because there's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be someone prettier, someone with a better body. There's always going to be someone with more money, more status, more social currency. So when people operate in hierarchy, this will eventually cause a lot of emotional pain. On top of that, most people don't do the work to become someone that they're proud of. There's a lot of people out here who are crippled with insecurity and they're not doing anything about it. So when you're in the presence of people with this type of mindset, your presence is like holding up a mirror to them. You are reminding to them how they truly feel about themselves, despite how much they try to hide it. And you remind to them the parts of themselves that they've neglected and let go. You might be thinking, oh my God, that is so shallow. People are going to hate you and feel this way because of how you look. Let me tell you something. The world that we live in is shallow and superficial. Looks absolutely matter. There is a reason why the beauty industry is a billion-dollar industry. Beauty has always been currency since the dawn of time. Now, is beauty everything? No, it's not. Let's get more into the spiritual side of it. When you're someone who's attractive or someone who possesses beauty, you shine really bright. Beauty is a blessing. This is actually a gift from God. Beauty isn't the only thing that makes you shine bright. There are other things. It could be your energy. It could be your personality. It could be your God-given gifts. Maybe you have some talents. Whatever it is, there are people on this earth who just shine brightly. When you're someone who shines brightly, you're going to irritate certain people. The thing with humans is we're not all sunshines and rainbows, okay? There are many different sides to us. And when you shine bright, you cast a light onto their shadow. You cast a light on the parts of themselves that they hide, the parts of themselves that they don't like, the parts of themselves that they've neglected, parts of themselves that they're just not proud of. People who haven't done the work to really get to know themselves at a really deep level and they haven't got in touch with their shadow, people like this don't have genuine self-love for themselves. Because to have genuine self-love, you have to look at the parts of yourself that you may not like. You have to look at the parts of yourself and maybe admit to yourself, wow, I've been lazy, or wow, I don't do anything about my insecurities. You know what I mean? Most of the time too, this is unconscious. Your light irritates them, and because they haven't done the inside work, they don't even know why. And when people don't know why your presence irritates them, they're gonna nitpick you and look for reasons why they don't like you. To bring this all together, the bottom line is because of human nature, people who are insecure or who haven't worked on themselves or they're not proud of themselves, they typically respond poorly to people with attractiveness and beauty with jealousy and spite. Am I saying every single person will hate you because of your attractiveness and beauty? No, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying this is an actual thing. This does happen.